Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Sip with Joy. I am glad it's Monday. Well, am I? No, I'm not. I'm not really glad, and I'm not. But that gets me closer to Friday, so I guess I am happy. Um, but welcome back for to another episode of Sip with Joy. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, this is a show about a girl, her wine, and her feelings. And I am that girl. I am your host, Joy M. Hutton, serial entrepreneur and lover of food and wine. And today, guys, I'm drinking something a little different. I'm drinking beer. I know y'all have probably never heard me talk about beer before, but this is St. Arnold's Lawnmower. So this is a beer. Mm-hmm. Mm. Nice, summer, refreshing. um, so yes, that is what I'm drinking today. So you all know you'll find out more about that on the Sip of the Day on Instagram at Sip with Joy. So today's topic is the party don't start till I walk in. And if you know the song Welcome to Atlanta, well, you know that's a line in that song. And today's guest is actually from ATL, and he's bringing the whole party. Hey Tiffany, miss you too, boo. So before I got started, y'all, I forgot to do my what the sip last week, and so it was going to be Carly Russell. Now I'm not talking bad about her, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say this. We need to pray for her, and I hate that the system is treating her like a criminal, even though she is. But she is clearly mentally ill. Now, if that was someone of the other persuasion, they would have her in the psych ward, not in jail. So that's all I'm gonna say. Now, who should really be the sip is her ex-boyfriend. This fool is doing club appearances in Atlanta this week, y'all. So, yeah. So he is definitely the what the sip this week. All right. Okay, let's move on. I want to introduce our guest, who actually, again, is from Atlanta. So I'm going to bring up founder and CEO of Deuce and a Quarter. I just want to break out in song when I hear that title. Darren W. Armstrong, welcome. Welcome,
What's up,
Darren.
Joy? I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes.
I'm on the Joy Hutton Sip with Joy show. Y'all are amazing.
Sip with Joy. So before we get started, I gotta ask you, what are you sipping on? Because this is Sip with Joy.
So I'm sipping on, that's a great question. So it's a sour called Super Summer Jam. This is a sour style that a friend of mine just dropped. My friend Chris.
Okay.
It's a fruit sour with apple, tamarind, lemongrass, and lime.
Ooh, right? That sounds refreshing.
And this was a collaboration she did with Pontoon out here in Georgia. She's one of another emerging brewer out here in Georgia, as there are several of us, especially our sisters out here in Atlanta. So this is her beer, right?
All
it's
right.
Called Super Summer Jam.
Super Summer Jam. I love that.
Her name is The Craft Beer Connoisseur.
Okay.
Actually, so I'm giving her.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to the sisters in beer too. All right. Brothers and sisters in beer. I like it. Hey Elsie. Hey Jess Lee. Hey Michelle. Hey Nita. Okay, so you, Darren, have your own craft beer, which I wish I could try yours, but it's not canned yet, right? So, but as soon as you get that in the can, you're going to send me some.
We got stuff to work out. Yes.
So tell us about your craft beer and move over a little bit, because I need you to move over just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right. So tell us about your craft beer.
So my craft beer is called Three and Impossible.
Okay.
So this was the first release, the beer collaboration with Hip and Hops Brewery in Georgia. Hip and Hops Brewery is the first Black-owned porter in the state.
Okay.
And so I saw it very fitting to partner with them with the owner Terrence Boston and his team to come out with this beer called Three and a Possible, which of course, if you know what that means, spades reference, right? So
Okay, I was like, tell us what it means, because everybody don't play spades.
Some cards may be revoked up there. So it's spades. The spades reference.
Yes.
Don't know. But we had a collaboration on the 22nd of July, and in conjunction with the release, there was also a spades tournament. So we ended up having the two themed beers. One is a smoked pecan lager, pecan a homage to Georgia, and then also we have also a sour, strawberry peach sour, also released.
Are you saying salad?
Diverse crowd. I'm sorry.
Are you saying salad, or you're saying what do you call? What do you?
Sour beers.
Oh, sour.
What I'm drinking.
Okay, sour. Okay, that's okay. Sour, sour, like SOUR.
SOUR.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay, I thought you were saying sour, but then I was like, well, is he saying salad? Because maybe that's another term I don't know in the beer world. Okay, got
it. I have collaborated with one of my friends here who's a culinary artist. All she does is she infuses her beer, with craft beer. So I did do a salad.
Okay. But we talking about sour. Okay, so my bad. I just wanted to make sure that's what you were saying. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a sour, and we had the release, and great turnout, great feedback on the beer, the event itself. Some more things have come as a result of that event, and just look to doing more in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, but Deuce Quarter is building, and things are happening, and things are in motion.
Yeah, one of my followers were like, because the name of his business is so black, I'm following. I was like, yeah, Darren is blackety black for sure. Morehouse man in Atlanta, Deuce at a quarter, three and a possible. I mean, just blackety black.
If I can be just straight up, so the Deuce and a quarter, that comes from my grandfather. So Deuce and a quarter. Part of it paying homage to my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me community, and in doing a lot of traveling when I first got into craft beer, there was so much diversity that was missing across the board, including, who owns this, the place, who are the patrons, who do you see on the wall, as well as beer experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is, continuing the legacy that my grandfather showed me. He showed me community. As a barber, he was a barber in Birmingham. He cut Dr. King's hair. Wow. He would also use his shop for SCLC meetings and other things as he was a civil rights leader.
Wow.
His second office, however, was his electric 225, which is known as a Deuce and a quarter. And I've gone through a couple name changes, but finally came to Deuce and a quarter, which made sense thanks to my boy Ale. So had to land on the name as it resonates with so many people from a cultural perspective in so many other ways.
I love that. Such great history behind that. I love a good story, and I think people love like when there's some true meaning behind a brand. So what prompted you to get into the craft beer industry? Because I've known you for many years, and I'm like, wait, what, beer? So totally outside of what I would have thought you would have entered to. So talk more about that.
Yeah, so it was by accident. I used to dabble in beer, but not like I do now. And my best friend was visiting while I was living there, and said, try this. And after that, I kind of ripped the Band-Aid off. And then I just started, as I was traveling, I started noticing again just the lack of diversity in so many different spaces, but then also beer can be anything, and I love the diverse nature of craft beer. You can have beer that can, whatever your palate is, beer can meet that that destiny. So that's what drew me in, and then I figured out, okay, these are the pain points that I continue to see. I continue to engage with brewers, with beer judges. When I lived in California, one of my mentors is an international beer judge. So I kind of got a nice snapshot of what is and what isn't. And that pushed me to develop my model, and here we are. So we only make up less than 1% of the industry. And the industry hears us loud and clear because we're making some awesome beer. And I think anytime that we enter a space or we reclaim a space, that we come with our narrative, with culture, and it's more than just a product.
Right.
This goes to 3900 BC in Mesopotamia, where Black women developed the first recipe for craft. So,
okay.
All right. So let's
come through, sisters.
This ain't anything new.
Yeah.
It's about exposure, and the more we know, the more we can grasp, the more we can appreciate. So part of my journey is exposure, in addition to craft beer education, representation, inclusivity, and boldness. That's what we're here to do. And a lot of the other, Black brewing here in Atlanta and across the country are doing the exact same thing. We're showing up.
Yeah. Yes. Come through, Black people. I love it. And I was having a little back and forth with one of my followers on Sip with Joy, and they were saying how, they felt like Black people were selling intoxication. And I said, I don't really think that's true. I mean, I think for me, I appreciate that we're on the other side of the table in terms of being able to sell our own brands now. Now, with anything, I think you have to be responsible, but that's not on us to teach people how to be responsible. You need to be responsible with anything that you do, driving a car, drinking liquor, whatever it is. And so, but I think for me, it's the ownership piece in this space, because like you said, 1% in craft beer, in the beer industry, I mean, that's crazy. So I think, people have their hang-ups about things, but for me, I think, like you said, it's about representation at the end of the day and how we're showing up, and it doesn't mean like popping bottles, you're promoting intoxication, but when we come through with a story, just like you did. We come through with, it's for the culture, So I love what you said.
And for example, like, can art is very important. So you see this, but you'll see, I've seen cans. I think like you have companies like Hella Coastal. You have my guys, Drought Season. They collaborated with, anytime you've seen like beer is Black history, you see that on cans. Or there's a Juneteenth beer dropped by Crowns and Hops with, images from Juneteenth, right? So we have to be we control the narrative. We have to keep the stories going. And the beautiful thing about us is we can keep these stories going for beer.
Exactly.
And it's not just a product. So it's not about this. And beer isn't about intoxication in the first place, but it's a great.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can't get lit off beer, but that's not.
There's history, there's narratives, you see yourself in these beers.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly. And I think, like I said, there's a bigger story to that. So when I saw that comment, I was like, I disagree. So, you mentioned that it's 1% of Black people in this industry. So how has that been as a Black person, Black man, trying to break into this industry? Have you faced any challenges, any barriers trying to break into the industry? Has it been difficult?
I think it's very interesting in that it's like what's difficult is what's pushed a lot of us in this space. Lack of representation, lack of inclusivity, and like creative spaces, right? Because we don't have a lot of safe spaces. However, I will have conversations with, white-owned breweries. Hey, this is my model. This is my idea. We need that. Any resources you need, we need that. I mean, we've got. However, you still experience the same sort of stuff in this industry, in any industry. I mean, there are there are breweries that we don't mess with because of, how they treat, us, other people of color, women. We don't deal with them.
Yeah.
But what I can say is I've felt nothing like the power of the beer community is so powerful.
Yeah.
In terms of, okay, let's brew together, or let me share these resources with you, or
That's good.
you're studying for your here are these materials, or financial resources. Let's talk about that. Like for example, the person who I brewed with, Clarence from Hip and Hops, the owner, he was one of the first people I called to talk about. Hey, I heard you're the guy to talk. Hey, let's talk. Like, it's a very giving community. I think the hardest thing for me has been, and I think with any entrepreneur, there's no straight A to Z. You're going here, here, here,
right,
back here, all the way down over there, and but you're falling up while you're doing it, right?
Right.
So I'm blessed to be in contact with some really great, people I've made friends, people that are friends and mentors here in Atlanta, who've just looked out, and I can run down a list of names. I got Jen Price from Atlanta Beer Boutique. She's also a brewer. We've got Ale Sharpton, Atlantucky, drought season. Within Atlanta University Center, between Clark, Morehouse, Spelman, Morris Brown, we have 7 alumni-owned companies.
Wow.
So people come to Atlanta to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it is love. But there are barriers to entry. This is, and we talked about this at the National Black Brewers Association back in May. And that, you have, within the U.S., there are less than probably 100 Black-owned breweries. But like me, there are other ones that are in development.
Right.
And so one of the biggest barriers to entry is, of course, raising capital. So, that, but sometimes people don't have the ease of relationships depending on where they are.
Yeah.
But overall, this is going to be, I've had great experiences for the part, but I will say a lot of my building and support and just understanding exactly what I'm going through as a Black person face, the Black brewing community, that's family. Like,
yeah, I love to hear that, because it's hard out here when you're trying to build community and whatnot. As an entrepreneur, it's tough because a lot of people operate in their own silos and they're only for themselves. So it's great to hear that you have a community in this space. I know even in the wine world, I feel like there are a lot of people who are pretty close knit, and so I think that not everybody's like that. You're gonna have some outliers, of course, but I think there's a general consensus of that, like, hey, we go up together, but it's not like that generally, especially in entrepreneurship. So you hit on some of the challenges that you face, like access to capital. Are there any other challenges that you can identify that have been the biggest pain in your ass as an entrepreneur?
I won't say the biggest pain in my, but it's something that I needed to experience for the first time. As an entrepreneur, growing in this space, you're an entrepreneur. Joy, I'm not going to ask you for discounts. I'm not going to ask you for things for free. I'm not going to ask you why is this price this way? Because everything that you have, all the money you've spent, the time that you've spent, the education, the training to build your business so you can get to that point, I would never do that. And I think, I'm understanding that, and it's interesting because it's like, you start asking the questions, well, when you go to Nordstrom, do you just ask them for 50% off?
Right. You don't do it at the grocery store. Like,
can I get this pair of shoes for free?
Right.
Do you do that, Ruth Chris?
Hello.
Do you? Yeah. So why would you do that to. We're supposed to be supporting each other, and we do support each other.
Yeah.
We do. I'm not saying let's not.
But there are some.
But just the when people ask, well, why this? And I think that's going to happen, and that can be coming from anybody, but that's going to happen. And so just going through that. But let's talk about value. Let's talk about investment. And come on now.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's like, just put some respect on my name. You work hard to get where you are. Like, put some respect on my name, on my business. Because, like you said, you don't go to other places and do that. Someone said, I'm interested in dating in Atlanta because Texas is bogus. We're definitely going to get to the dating part. Bogus. Right, everywhere is bogus. Shoot, it's not even just Texas. Reg Rich said, I sip more of the seltzers because of lower carbs. So is your beer low in calories? Because we got to protect the waistline. Because, people always say, oh, the beer belly.
We have to protect the waistline, everything in moderation.
Yes.
I would say that my beer is it's not like you're drinking a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It's got some calories in it.
How many calories, Darren?
I can't give you a number on that right now.
Yeah.
I can figure. However, I think when I think about beer, it's kind of like when I go to the club. I don't go to the club, but if I were to go to a club where I'm ordering a beverage, I'm doing like ginger and bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing diet ginger. I'm gonna have ginger and bourbon. I'm ginger beer. I appreciate the attention to health and caloric intake, but that is something to explore. I mean, even like gluten-free options, those are now more of those are hitting the market in addition to 0%.
So
I mean, that's a question. Thank you for that question. I don't have a caloric count on the beer that I brewed, but it's you'll be all right. Just moderation.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, and when you were talking earlier, Lydia was saying we will consume anything and everything until one of us is selling it. Then we want to pick it apart and make it political. I think when I was talking about how the person made a comment about, black people are always promoting intoxication when they're selling liquor and what have you. And it's like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, someone to come back. So Ray Rich said, I'm following keto, so I try to watch the carbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Respect.
But that's interesting. So there's gluten-free beer, but isn't beer made from wheat? Like barley?
I have not, I don't know the intricacies of that beer because to be honest, I haven't had gluten-free beer yet.
Okay, because I'm like, what does that taste like?
I went straight for
And you want the real stuff.
I didn't say.
Well,
wait a minute. I'm not saying gluten-free beer is not okay.
Not real. Okay, well, you want the.
I want the steak on mine. That's all. Just put the steak on mine. That's all.
Yeah, put the steak on it. I love it.
There are some gluten-free beers that I've heard of that I do want to try, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Atlanta. You obviously a Morehouse man. We talked about that earlier. Someone's son goes to Morehouse in the chat.
What's up?
There, so you didn't start in Atlanta. So you've come back to Atlanta. So we met in Chicago. So tell me why you came back to Atlanta, because you've been all over.
Yeah. So Chicago. Okay, finished Morehouse in 2005. Moved to Atlanta. Then was in Atlanta from 5 to 10. Went to Vandy. finished school there, came back
Nashville.
to Chicago, then went to LA in 15, then came back around 2017, and then moved to Nashville in 2018.
See, all that moving is stressful.
Okay. Yeah, but I would say Chicago. Chicago's actually where I first, like, right after I got introduced to craft beer, cut my teeth in Chicago. I spent a lot of time with Quentin and Curtis at Vice District, and those guys were mentors of mine, kind of helping me develop in my curiosity in craft beer, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took me, different, again, the same way entrepreneurship to get back to Atlanta 15 years later. But I came back here. Actually, I came up a summer. I was deciding between Atlanta, and Charlotte. I got invited up by a classmate of mine, William, he's actually the owner of the first black brewing company in
Georgia,
called Down Home Brewing. So me come up here for a weekend. I met a lot of folks who were part of the black craft beer community here in Atlanta, and I was sold. I mean, I kind of already had a hunch I was coming here. I just wanted to be in a space where I felt my idea could thrive. I could, reconnect with my second home, and really be in a city where I could make some impact outside of, through craft beer, and make some community impact and create some other things going. And this was the city that made no sense. So, alas, I'm here.
All right. Okay, I love it. Okay, so we want to know, because, we be hearing stuff about Atlanta out here in these streets, dating and whatnot. So the people want to know, how is dating in Atlanta? What's going on out here? Should we move to Atlanta? What is dating like for a man? Because you're a man, so you have a totally different perspective than us women do. So I want to know. The people want to know.
I don't like the term of people that there's a lot of pee in the pool. I don't like that. Because, I think I have to, you have to remain optimistic, right? Dating here, a lot of folks are on the apps. I hear a lot of app stories. I've witnessed, speed dating is big here. I've witnessed that. I think energy of Atlanta creates an environment where, you can meet people easily. It's fun. Atlanta's fun. It is
fun. I always have a good time when I come to Atlanta, but I be looking at people a little sideways.
But you got, there's always a turn up here somewhere, whether you're at a boat place or you're at a restaurant. I was at a restaurant. My dad and I were there. 1 o'clock, we're having brunch. All of a sudden, the place just turns into an electric slide.
Oh, gotta love black people.
Yeah. So I think Atlanta's got some decent soil here for dating.
Okay, so then what's your biggest challenge? What's your biggest obstacle?
My biggest obstacle here, I think, when you're in a space where you're doing a lot of work. I'm trying to launch this. I'm doing it. But then, working on myself and taking some time, figuring some things out. We have things that we heal from. We have things that we have to pour into ourselves. So that's the season that I'm in. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I have a challenge. I'm just more so kind of focused on, what's directly in front of what I'm building, and preparing myself to be the most whole person that I can be for my partner, whoever she's going to be. So that's where I am. So I wouldn't say any challenges, but we'll see. I'm optimistic. Like I said, I don't believe in overabundance of pee in the pool. And to be honest, she may not even be here.
Yeah, that's true.
She may be, I don't know. She could be in Pennsylvania. I don't know. She could be anywhere in the country.
Right. Yeah, maybe not there. Let's see. Reg said, I visited ATL a few times. It seems to be more women than men, like in Texas, but finding someone who is quality and really wants a relationship. Yeah. I think that's anywhere. I just feel like the culture of dating has really changed, and I salute you for wanting to do the work and what have you, because there's a bunch of people out here not doing their work, and they just out here just going from one broken relationship to the next. So yeah, that is good that you are committed to doing the work and being as whole as you can for your partner, because these streets,
and they're whole people. People are whole out. You just have to. But the thing is, like I've noticed there are people who will talk about they want to find a partner, this and that, but I'm like, but you stay at home.
Well, see, here's the thing.
you gotta put yourself. You have to be out of it.
Here's the thing, Darren. When you go outside, okay, because I'm one of those people. I'm in the house because I feel like when I go outside, I'm not like I just feel like outside ain't for me. I feel like me and the person that's for me, we both sitting in the house. And how are we gonna meet each other? Maybe we'll meet each other in the airport. I feel like I may meet my person. We're gonna meet in the airport, because when I'm not in my house, I'm traveling somewhere, because I don't really go out in Houston, because when I go out, I just feel like it's just like what somebody say, it's just trash. Now, that's not to say there are not quality men out there. I'm not saying that. But it's becoming increasingly difficult because not everybody wants the same thing that you do. And a lot of people are not honest about it. So like last week I was talking about love bombing. Like guys out here just telling you, yeah, I see you in my future. Ooh, you can be my wife. We can have babies. All the things that they think you want to hear. And then as soon as you have a disagreement, bam, they out of there. So it's just like the tables turn real quick when you have a disagreement, or just like there's no effort. There's very low effort. So yeah, I will go out, but when I go out, I don't meet guys like I used to. And also what's happening, there's a shift in how women are approaching men. Younger women are approaching men. They're not, so men don't really have to do the work like they used to. So I don't know if you've experienced this in Atlanta. Do you get approached by women a lot more than you used to? Younger women, maybe not women with the same age, but do you feel like you get approached by more women now?
It's younger women. With the, oh, you cute for old man, what's up?
But they approach you, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
Not an old man though. It's that gray hair.
Yeah, you got that Giancarlo Esposito, that Big Brother Dean on Mike T.
Yeah, the salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper gangster.
Yeah.
The approaches are cool, but it's all how you do it. And it's like, I don't mind if it happens. I don't mind. I'm like, okay, cool. This is her. She wants to have a conversation, okay, but that doesn't make me feel like some men feel. This woman come talking to me. I can't do all that. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I think for me, and I think you know me well enough, I just generally I enjoy conversation. I will talk to. I'm my mother's child. I will talk to mostly anybody, and I'll make a friend by the end of wherever I'm at. If I'm at a bar, I'll make some friends, and it's become a joke. But we're talking to people, period. But being approached is cool, but also if you can't hold a conversation, and your diction just
just a little struggly. It's a little struggling.
A little struggling.
A little struggling. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. But I think, someone said in the chat that you have to go out to grown folks events. Well, I'm not going to the clubs. I'm going to grown folks events. But, you have to be grown. You got to act grown. You can be in a room full of adults and people aren't grown, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just and I can't even say, like, I was having this conversation with my friend, I can't even say people are saying it's a new breed of men. No, I actually, like, if my age group, we're the same age roughly. I got a couple of years on you, but what I'm saying is our generation. Shut up, Darren. But I feel like the men, that were courting us, when you be my girlfriend back in our 20s and stuff, now they are being approached by the younger women and don't feel like they have to necessarily do the same amount of work that they used to. And so, because the women are doing the work for them. I went out with a friend and he was like, yeah, this girl paid for my dinner. And I was like, on a first date, I said, man, please. I said, see, these women are creating problems for me and my friends. So it's just, and hey, do what you do. Everybody is entitled to how they move. But what I'm saying is I want to be pursued. And in wanting that pursuit, I think maybe I'm limiting myself. And it's not that, so like people are like, well, do you let a guy know that you like? Yeah, I give eye contact, a little flirty smile, a little body language, but I'm not going to walk up to a guy. I'm not that forward. And hey, because you hear about people shooting a shot in DMs and all that, I just, maybe I'm missing my opportunity, okay? Maybe I'm missing my blessing out here. Maybe I need to be more aggressive. I don't know. Someone said some women are spoiling men, right? It's just, it's hard out here. So, I think it's a universal problem. This is not just Atlanta. It's not Houston. It's not Chicago. It's everywhere. Now, I do think men are more passive in Texas than, say, Chicago or New York.
Okay.
There's
other thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Joy. I think both can exist, right?
Yeah.
There's room for everybody, and I don't think that has to taint, or persuade you or try to coerce you to change up how you are approaching dating and how you are a wonderful human being, a beautiful person. That doesn't mean that you have to, what works for you is what works for you. So you don't have to do what some of these other folks do. Do what works for you. And I don't think that puts you at a detriment, because I think if you're putting forth that excellence and that integrity and all the other values that, you're putting out there, you want the other person to also have, I think, cream rises to the top. So that person, their brother's going to notice you, whether he's looking at you doing one of these, or, he's coming up to you. It's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rich said, interesting topic. This girl came up to me and said, oh, you want all the ladies to come up to you. No, I don't jump in folks' faces. I want to holler, but think folks come out to chill. LC said, Joy, I think our mate is coming is going to come knock on our door looking for us. Yeah, they got to come. They got to come with a sign.
Some of these breweries.
The breweries, is that what we need to go hang out at the breweries? That's where the grown folks hang out, the grown men.
Y'all, there's some. There need. You just gave me an idea.
You working on something? You're welcome. Yeah. All right. Well, Darren is going to curate some men for us ladies, and we're going to take a trip down to Atlanta and babes and breweries. Okay, we're going to go booze and brewery, whatever you want to call it. We're going to Atlanta, y'all. So y'all let me know when you want to take a trip down there. I'm thinking, maybe next month, September. Let me know, because But yeah, this has been great, Darren. I love it, and yeah, this is great. If you all are in Atlanta, go to Hip and Hop, right?
That's where the beer is exclusive.
Hip and Hop, where Darren's beer 3 and a Possible is. And yeah, we can't wait for you to get that canned up so we can buy it everywhere. And yeah, if you're in Atlanta, go support them. Follow Darren at Deuce and a Quarter ATL QTR. And what else is coming up next, Darren?
So we have there may be some festivals in the works that I'll be part of. Working on something else. I'm keeping it kind of low.
Okay.
But it'll when it's time.
Yeah.
Stuff is happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good.
And I'm planning some things outside of so things are definitely in motion.
Well, we can't wait to see what's coming out of the Deuce and a Quarter camp. So Tiffany says she's going to be there for Spellhouse coming, homecoming. So make sure you stop at Hip and Hop. And
Tiffany, we're going to have so we brought back Beer Bash, which was a tradition, and so it's craft beer bash. So we brought that back last year, so we will be this year.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned.
Okay.
There's definitely going to be a Spellhouse homecoming. Stay tuned.
Last question. What makes it a craft beer versus just beer?
All right. So craft beer typically is less than 6 million barrels that are brewed annually. And also it includes like traditional ingredients and also in the form of small batches. Like your more traditional beers, like your Budweiser and those kind of beers are considered, those are brewed in corporate breweries.
Mm-hmm.
They have just kind of non-traditional ingredients, and they have low quality, right? But I mean, they're just mass produced. With craft beer, it's very artisan style. It's very, there's love in the beer.
I love it.
It also brewing techniques, and there's an enthusiasm in craft beer that's just different. That's not a traditional beer, or commercial beer. And you have good commercial beer, but with craft beer, it's it's traditional. It's custom. It's again, it can meet any palate.
Okay. All right. Love it. It's all love in the craft beer. Thank you, Darren. This is amazing, and this was amazing.
Sure.
And we have one last question for you. Reg Rich says, "I like a Blue Moon. Do you have anything similar, citrus flavored?"
I do not have anything. What I can suggest, it's not a wheat ale. It's not a wheat, but what I was pointing Joy in the direction. It's a Radler.
Mm-hmm.
You can try it. A blood orange grapefruit Radler. It's called Two Pitchers, TWO Pitchers, 2 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get that at Total Wine. I would suggest that.
Yeah.
I do not have anything Moon yet.
Okay, it's coming though. We're manifesting it.
But I will say that Blue Moon, I I keep a lot of stuff in my fridge, craft beer, and it also keeps non-craft beer stuff too.
Yeah.
And Blue Moon is one of them.
Yeah. Okay. And Reg, you would probably like what I'm drinking today. It's St. Arnold's Lawnmower, and that's actually out of Texas. It's a German style Kolsch. Am I pronouncing that right? I hope I am because I already. Okay. Yeah. German style Kolsch, and it's more citrusy flavored. So you might like that if you like citrus flavored, because this definitely has citrus notes to it. So.
In the. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say to Reg, the Kolsch, as she said, it's a German style. Even though it's technically an ale, it has traits that of a lager. So something like a Stella Artois or Budweiser will be similar to that, Reg.
Okay, that's interesting. Look at us learning about our beer on Sip with Joy. Y'all better take this education. St. Arnold's Lawnmower, Reg. And then Darren mentioned Stella Artois and Budweiser. All right. Well, that's a wrap for our show today. I will see you guys next week. We are halfway through the season. And I'm so glad to have you on, Darren. Thanks for coming and talking with the good people about your craft beer. And we're going to take a trip down to Atlanta so you can curate some good, wholesome black men for us. Since you know where they at. Okay, well, you better listen. You just run the ideas by me. We can collaborate on something, okay? Yeah. Look at the wheels spinning. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. See y'all next week. Bye.
Peace.